I remember that after Poroma, oh my God, the kind of reactions I got. You will not believe. I mean, actually during the premiere, we had the balcony and people were downstairs. So I went, during the interval, I went downstairs to see what the reaction was. And then there were some young men who were really angry. And they said in Bengali to me, what do you think? Do you think that women's emancipation, women's freedom means doing whatever you like? In Bengali, they said, Shitchachar. So I said, no, please. I got very scared. I must admit that sometimes I become a coward. I said, no, please see till the end and then we'll talk about it after it's finished. And I went upstairs. Then after the whole thing was over, everyone left the theatre, the auditorium. I was not leaving. I was very scared because I was very scared about what those young men would do to me. Then 2 or 3 little old ladies came up to me and they looked this side and that side and they whispered, bless you. Beche thako ma, bless you. Live long. So I said, you know, these people obviously have been very deprived all their lives, these women. And then I came down, I had my old grandmother who was about 70 maybe, and I had my little daughter, Konkona, who was small then. And when I came down, these men were still waiting for me. I said, my grandmother is here with me, my little child is here with me. Just let me get to the car. I got to the car, sped away. I was terrified. Then Dipankar De, who was one of the actors, and then another actor called Dilip Rai, they all came over to my house and they said, you know, you have to change this. This is not for Bengalis. They're not going to accept this, etc. I don't know what happened to me. I just dug my heels in and I said, you know, it's a fait accompli and I'm not going to change one frame. And then that film played simultaneously in 3 theatres for 17 weeks. They had to pay the producers to get the film out. So, you know, what happens is when you somewhere, even in a tiny way, hits a kernel of truth, society responds. So I was the bad woman, the scarlet woman. I was all that.
So good that some bad women are still there. And I would live for the day where all the women have turned bad.
Okay.
Right. So that's what made you stand apart. And that is why I said that you actually epitomized for the first time women empowerment in Bengal. And
Are you a feminist?
I don't know what that means.
A feminist means, I think, believing in equal rights for men and women.
I believe that women should have bigger rights. I don't believe that they deserve equal rights because I feel they're the better species and I feel that the world would have been a better place if the control was with
in the hands of women. Perhaps you're right because, you know, we've seen what men have been doing all this time, but then to counter that, think of all the horrible women politicians we've had, many of them, not all, but many of them have been absolutely disastrous.
So it's not women politicians have been disastrous. A lot of men politicians also have been.
Of course, they have.
So
but when women come in, when women take the reins of power in their hands, sometimes and most of the time they turn as corrupt as men.
So I'm saying that you would, in a basket of fruits, you'll have a few corrupt ones. But that doesn't mean that the whole basket, there's something wrong with the whole basket.
Not necessarily, but I think it's a little more complicated than that. I think it's more that you can't have absolute power because absolute power corrupts absolute.
No, I'm not talking about absolute power. I'm saying that the command, I'll tell you why. I said that I'm a very mathematical and I like to put things in simple equations.
But is everything solved by simple equations?
I try to do that, which I call objectifying subjectivity. Decision making becomes easy. I mean, 2 bigger or 4 bigger, you don't have to think. So I try to do that. That's not that every time I succeed.
That's your
like
way.
for instance, I'm saying that...
So yours is that way. Mine is more the intuitive way.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So answering your question, I'm being feminist. Maybe I'm a little more than a feminist. To me, women empowerment is not about giving the power that men enjoy to women. Women empowerment is all about letting the woman to remain the woman. That is woman empowerment.
Watch Radico presents Duologue with Barun Season 3, streaming on News 9 Plus. Download the app now.